So you may have noticed that a bunch of online streamers have this tendency to spend big bucks on big movie stars for their big online streaming movies and hoping for big results, but quite frankly, the results have been less than stellar. But hope springs eternal, and there's a new one playing on Amazon this week. Hey everybody, I'm McBride, the movie guy, and today let's talk about Playdate.
Just trying to throw a spiral. This is gonna suck.
Name's Jeff. Brian. Outstanding. Okay.
Oh, look, they're friends already.
CJ's cool. He invited me over his house. Can we go over, please?
All right, why not?
Hell yeah, dude!
Yeah.
Up high.
Oh! Oh! You wanna dance?
You guys go on ahead while I put him out real quick.
In Playdate, Kevin James plays Brian. He's a stay-at-home dad trying to bond with his stepson, and it's not going well. But then he meets another dad, Jeff, played by Alan Ritchson. One of the funniest moments in this movie is the scene where we meet Jeff and his son. They're playing catch. It looks like a sweet thing, except it's so violent. It's hyper violent. It's so over the top that it's really kind of funny. Now the two dads are suddenly thrown into an action buddy comedy when a squad of goons show up to a Chuck E. Cheese-like place intent on kidnapping Jeff's child, CJ, who's played by Banks Pierce. And so we get a fun comic action sequence. But then things take a strange turn that when we find out that CJ isn't really Jeff's kid, making us wonder if this is actually a child abduction case. Yeah, so nothing says funny like child abduction. Look, part of the problem with Playdate is that the story is all over the place. It's trying to be a whole bunch of things and quite frankly, none of it really matches. I mean, is it a father and son bonding story? Is it a serious action film? Is it a dystopian story about science run amok? I mean, yes and no to all of this. Now, for what it's worth, I will give the movie credit for the awkward chemistry of its two leading men. Both of these guys know how to sell a joke, and they're not afraid to do something outrageous in order to get a laugh. They both have solid, funny man chops. I just wish that the story gave them better jokes to play with. Okay, so let's talk about the borderline child abuse in this movie, which is played for laughs. And there is a certain level of cathartic humor found in watching bratty kids get knocked about a bit, especially when it's so over the top that it can't possibly be real. Look, if you're okay with that, then you might get a kick out of Playdate, but I know a lot of people will say that is just a line they're not willing to cross. The other interesting aspect to this movie is a really talented and mostly wasted supporting cast. We get Isla Fisher, we have Stephen Root, Paul Walter Hauser, Alan Tudyk. I mean, look, these are really talented actors, and they're in this movie, and they're not really doing anything of note at all. With a couple of exceptions here. I just think this is a lot of talent up on the screen that's really kind of wasted. So the bottom line for me is this is a movie that's trying to be a bunch of different things, and I don't think any of those things really work because they don't commit to any of the genres. The action stuff, okay, it's fine, but it's not really the point of the movie. The father and son bonding, okay, it's fine, but it kind of gets derailed by the action stuff. I think it could have been funnier. I do appreciate the leading man, but ultimately this is just kind of a mediocre movie that doesn't work very well. I suspect it's okay if you're just at home and you want to watch something while you're doing some household chores, but for the most part, not a great film. I give Playdate 1.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, so this is just one of those high-profile misses again. I appreciate the efforts, and one of these days we are going to have a streaming movie that's really worth talking about, but for the most part, this is another miss. But hey, look, if you can think of any great streaming movies, I'd like to hear what you think are the ones that work, because I think there are a few that kind of work. Comment below. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you get all of my movie guy reviews just as soon as they come out, or subscribe to my podcast. It's called Two Movie Guys, and every week my friend Joe Fryer and I get together and we chat about all of the week's big new movies in great detail. It's Two Movie Guys, wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so I wasn't a big fan of Playdate, but good news. I have better things to say about most of this weekend's new slate of movies. I already talked about Wicked for Good. You can catch that review. It's the previous one in this channel. And coming up next, we're going to talk about the new one with Brendan Fraser called Rental Family. We'll talk about that next. See you then.